Good morning. I could take this full hour introducing Carrie Sinkowski. Her qualifications are enormous, and I'm so looking forward to this event. She's a lifelong resident of Port Dover who learned at a very early age, understanding that communities are built through sharing and connecting and creating a love for community work. And that is us on the screen here. Since 2016, she has been the community developer for the Community Legal Clinic of Brant Haldeman, Norfolk. She is also the creator and manager of the Taylor the Turtle program, which is a human rights-based program for children at the Sexual Assault Center and a sessional instructor in the Labor Studies Department at McMaster. Access to justice is central to all of her work, which is why she loves her role in the clinic system. Carrie has an undergrad in women's studies and an MA in labor studies, both from McMaster, and a diploma in Polish culture and language from the Catholic University of Lublin. She recently received her LLM in constitutional law from Osgoode Hall Law School. She has, I don't know where she finds the time to have fun stuff. The part that highlighted for me is that she has this bagel, which really gives her a lot of comfort. She is grateful to engage in community work and be part of this transformative change work. So with further ado, here's Carrie.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your morning with me. Can you see my screen okay? Is it good? Okay. The other day I was having problems. Doesn't matter that we've been using Zoom for, 6 years. There still seems to be issues sometimes. So thank you all for inviting me in this morning. I'm the community developer at the Community Legal Clinic of Brant Haldeman, Norfolk, and I'm actually going to start talking about the Elder Law Project first, and then I'm going to talk about what our legal clinic does. All right, so I do have to say that what I'm sharing today is only legal information and that it's only valid as of today, July 8th, 2026, because we live in a common law system and our law is much more than what is written on the books, but it's also decisions made by judges. I have to say that because it's changing all the time. So you had a land acknowledgement at the beginning of your gathering, and I always like to point out that with the legal clinic system, when it comes to truth and reconciliation and the calls to action report that was created by the commission, there were 37 different points of action for those engaged in legal work. And that's something that we try to keep center of mind when we're working with folks that we're supporting with their legal needs, and also when we're working in the community. Uh, and I think that if you haven't had a chance to look at all the calls to action, there's over 90 of them. It's a worthwhile read, and I think that it's really important when we're, working together as communities within communities to work towards truth and reconciliation. So thank you, Betty Jean, for highlighting that I have a beagle. Currently, he's sleeping. So hopefully he keeps sleeping during my presentation. He's little, but he's very loud. And also I have rural internet, so sometimes my internet goes out. So I'm really hoping that doesn't happen either while we're together this morning. All right, so the Elder Law Project is very new to our clinic. We launched it on St. Patrick's Day of this year. And some of you were able to attend our launch, so thank you for supporting this project. And we've received some really great media coverage throughout our catchment area supporting this project. Excuse me. So this project is funded by the Law Foundation of Ontario. It actually started in the Grey Bruce Clinic, which is the clinic here with the triangle in their logo. It's been operating there for 2 years, and it was also funded by the Law Foundation of Ontario. They recently, I think last summer, they applied for expansion funding, and the Law Foundation was really pleased with the work that was happening in Grey Bruce with their elder law project, and they were excited to see an expansion into other parts of southwestern Ontario. So after reviewing demographics of various legal clinics within the region of the Southwest, they decided that our clinic and also the Huron Perth Community Legal Clinic both had a high number of seniors and also folks that might be needing the services of the project. So there is no, just to make things nice and confusing, there is actually no technical age requirement for the program, that it has more to do with the legal needs that can be met by the program. So it's called Elder Law Project, but there is no distinct age on accessing the program. So this project increases our capacity as a clinic to meet the needs of seniors for the next 2 years. We have the funding until March 2028. We've been already, since we launched it in March, calls have been coming to our clinic for information, for advice, and for public legal education requests. So what happens is you're still calling our clinic for assistance for the elder law project, but then we are actually going to redirect that to Angela and Josanne, who are from the Grey Bruce Clinic, and they're the leads on the project. So Angela is a lawyer and Josanne is a paralegal. Angela has been the lead on the project for the last 2 years in the Grey Bruce area, and now Josanne has joined her team. And so now they're both only working within this project, whereas before they both had other responsibilities. And Angela had other responsibilities in addition to the elder law project. So what makes us different than the other work we do is these are all the topics that are covered by the elder law project. And they're not topics that we typically do within our clinic. And then you can see from some of these that the reason why they don't have an age requirement is because some of these issues are ones that apply to people of various ages. So they have on here protection from harm, so ageism, elder abuse, frauds and scams, consumer rights, and then they have financial issues, so owning assets with another person, powers of attorney, substitute decision making, legal issues with financial planning for illness and death, wills, what to do when someone dies. And then their third category is care issues, so planning for future care, medical assistance in dying, rights in retirement homes and long-term care homes, legal differences in housing for seniors, power of attorney, substitute decision making, legal roles and responsibilities of healthcare professionals, legal rules for home care, legal rights to healthcare services. And then they also have a broader category of other topics. So legal strategies for aging well and aging in place, legal rules for driving as people age, how to advocate for governments to make legal changes to help seniors. So these are issues that they can help someone with individually, but these are also presentations they can do in the community. So right now, the only presentations that we as a clinic offer in the community on our own are presentations on power of attorney. And then I also run advocacy workshops and communication workshops. So that kind of connects to their how to advocate for governments to make legal changes to help seniors. So this allows us to offer a broader range of services to folks in our catchment area. It builds our capacity in terms of our legal knowledge, and it, creates a new opportunity for us to connect in the community. Oops. So as I said, we launched on March the 17th. We've been fielding a lot of calls and emails from frontline workers and folks in the community, and we've had a dramatic increase in connecting with senior groups. And I've been booking a lot of public legal education sessions, and apologies that I put PLEs in there, just force a habit. So that stands for public legal education. I've been doing a lot of those just based on the project, but also it has increased the number of calls I've been and emails that I've been receiving for sessions on power of attorney and free will kits. So there's other resources that we have within our clinic system. One is called the Advocacy Center for the Elderly. That is a permanent legal clinic that is based in Toronto, and it has a provincial mandate. So they're part of our 72 legal clinic system. We also have the CLEO, which stands for the Community Legal Education of Ontario. They've been around for a long time, and in the various jobs that I've had over the years, I've been using their educational materials. What's great about their materials is that everything is kept up to date by a team of lawyers on staff at Clio. But in addition to that, these aren't regular lawyers. These are lawyers who have become lawyers, practiced, and then did a 2-year master's on how to write in plain speak. So the rest of us who are not lawyers understand what these educational resources are saying. So then Clio also manages a website called Steps to Justice. And this is an amazing site. It's basically warehousing all their community education resources in one spot. And you can access it through our website. So if you can't remember what Steps to Justice was, or the free website was that I was talking about, if you go to our website, uh, we actually connect to Steps to Justice through our page. So it's really great. What I've been going in the community and talking about is they have what are called guided pathways on their website, and you can do a free will through a guided pathway. So unfortunately, it is only through the website. There's no paper copy of this. So that has been feedback that I've been receiving from folks in the community, that they'd really like a free will kit that was in paper. But for a number of legal reasons, for when you're doing one on your own, this unfortunately is the best way to do it. So it does take some computer savvy, and it does require a fair degree of literacy in order to use the guided pathways and to be able to do the free will kit, or to be able to do the power of attorney kit. But what's nice about them is that, just like the website's called Steps to Justice, it does break down creating a will into basic steps. So I tried it myself last year, so that it was easier for me to speak to. And it was very easy to use in terms of it breaks it down to very simple questions. And it's also very broad. So, like, there was a section there within the will that said, if you have pets, what do you want to have happen with your pets? If you have special things like photos or family heirlooms, like, where do you want those to go to? Who do you want to receive those? And it even has a section for what your wishes are for after you pass away. So it's a very helpful kit. Right now, the average from a private bar lawyer to get a will done is around $700 on average. So this is a great free alternative, and you just have to get witnesses to sign it after you download it and print it off. Um, and then, so for us, we are funded by Legal Aid Ontario, and everything that we offer as a legal clinic is free. Our office is physically in Brantford. We're in the Labor Center on Clarence Street. We're on the second floor. We're in Suite 203. So this is the same building that has the food bank in it. And then our catchment area is rather large. It's Brantford, Brant County, Six Nations of the Grand River, Mississaugas of the Credit, Haldimand County, and Norfolk County. But our only physical location is in Brantford. That being said, a lot of the work that we do is actually virtual or on the telephone. So people don't need to come to our office in order to access our services. And that's one of the great things about the Elder Law Project as well, is that even though Angela and Jocelyn do come down to our catchment area to offer their services, much of their work is actually over the phone or via Zoom, whatever people prefer. So that helps in terms of like the fact that we're in Brantford, and from the to the most western part of Norfolk, it's about an hour and a half from Brantford. So this, helps to address that access to justice piece for those who live, like, say, in Dunville, which is an hour from Brantford, that they can just simply call our clinic. Or during COVID, I created a contact form on our website. And so people can fill out the contact form and contact our clinic that way. So that we have a couple different options for connecting if you can't come to our physical location during our walk-in time, which is 10:30 to 12:30 and 1:30 to 5 Monday to Friday. So our clinic and our general services, the bulk of our work is actually legal information. So legal information is our simple questions like, what is the minimum wage? Or is my landlord responsible for making repairs to my unit? That's just legal information. Those are simple, yes, no, basic information that we can give anyone at any time. And I would say that's probably the bulk of our services. And then the second piece of our work is legal advice. So legal advice would be, my employer is not paying me minimum wage. They're only paying me $10 an hour. What should I do? So legal advice requires more information from you and your specific your specific situation. So we would ask for things like, do you have pay stubs? Have you been recording when you've been working? And then we would try to give you some direction based on the evidence that you could give us about what to do about your employer not paying you minimum wage. And then representation would be, your employer is not paying you minimum wage. They're only paying you $10 an hour. You've given us evidence and we've created a case for you, and now you filed with the Ministry of Labor and you want a lawyer to represent you there. So for this piece of service, we do need to do an income test, because we can only provide representation to people who make under a certain amount of money, because we are funded by Legal Aid Ontario. So that being said, legal advice and legal information that we can share with people, even if they make above what our income test is. So that's part of us trying to ensure that people have access to justice in our catchment area. So we have 5 lawyers on staff, and then we have 1 employment lawyer that we share with the Hamilton Legal Clinic and the Niagara Legal Clinic. And then there's myself, who's the community developer, and then we have an intake worker and an office manager. The 5 lawyers, just to clarify, they are lawyers. They Some people ask me a lot if they're lawyers that pass the bar, and yes, they pass the bar. They are proper lawyers and everything, and they're also staff lawyers, which means that they work for us, whereas the other legal aid system works on a certificate program where legal aid issues you a certificate, and then you have to go find a lawyer who will accept that certificate. Our lawyers are on staff and they're full time and they're always available for folks. So we do try to meet with folks as soon as we can. With the elder law project, there is a little bit of a delay. So we encourage you, like, if you have a question or you have a situation going on that fits the elder law mandate, that you contact us as soon as you can, because the program is very popular, and so there is a slight delay between you accessing our clinic and then being seen by Angela or Josanne. So the areas of law that we generally practice in, so this is how you can see that it's different than what's in the elder law project, is we only practice in these 3 areas. So we help tenants with housing issues. We help people with Ontario Disability Support Program appeals. So we don't do applications, we only do appeals. And then we help folks with employment law. So within housing law, a lot of what we see are people being evicted for or attempted to be evicted for arrears, uh, repairs not being done. With employment, we see a lot of not being paid the minimum wage. Unpaid hours is another one that Emily sees a lot of. And then with ODSP, obviously, we're just doing the appeal process for folks. So that is my email. My email is the only email on our website. So if you don't get it down today, you can always find it there on the website or ask Linda or Lucy for my email. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have about our clinic via email, or if you, and never hesitate to call our clinic, because I mean, we're there as an access to justice resource. And if you have a legal issue, you're not sure where to go, please call us. We only practice those areas of law that I mentioned, that ODSP appeals, employment, and housing. Uh, there's a broad range of laws that you may be needing assistance with, like family law, immigration, or criminal. We can't help directly with that, or real estate law, but we can, you know, kindly redirect you to other sources that might be able to help you. And but in the meantime, for the next 2 years, we do have that wide scope of work that can be done by those working in the elder law project. So thank you so much for joining me today and learning more about the elder law project and our clinic. And please don't ever hesitate to reach out to any of us. Thank you very much.